It was a time of error when the scales on our backs were marred on the frames of pinkish flesh, when the skies bled red from the great fire that covets us all and breathes the warmth and pain that fuels our blood. The sands were once gentle earth that we could eat freely with limitless delight, and wooden guides would lead our ways, where we could be free with smaller pink scales that could mend the very world. And there were so many brothers and sisters that one would never be alone. The metal effigies that touched the sky and proved that we could tame the lands. Those metals that fell to the earth and rotted to crisp, only for us to claim this from the scraps. It was a time when one could be forgiven for forgetting to hide on the ground during the days, and our families could afford to have more than a single child if they were lucky. It was a time when our bodies flowed with gentle furs rather than blackish gray scale upon our sisters and a bright red upon our brothers. It was a time when our bodies, once 3,000 cycles ago, this land forgave our weakness, when we needed the metals from the grounds to run faster through the night and the clear liquids that filled our thirst. Our grandfathers would teach us to climb every night as the scales on our backs would once again cool, so that we could challenge the great fire once more. Our grandmothers would fetch us metals in woods, some to sate our hunger, and others to call on our ancestors. We brothers would learn until our grandfathers fell, and then we would climb behind them to meet with the old ones in the blackened sky, who call out from the flickering black night. Our sisters would bear the labor of the children, where they keep them close and teach them our ways, marking our walls with stories of old and new. In the day we dig deeper, following those before who sought out the liquid nectar, and felled the gentle beast, too small to sate our hunger alone. We've no need for the protective armaments of historical past, only using only the sands under our nails to guide our paths, with those whose skin has hardened enough that they may provide for one another, the mere shade of cloth and shadow being our protectors from the great fire. Our armored flesh may shield us but a moment in these harsh conditions, and we may scour once more so that others may continue behind. Our eyes can view the gentle night as our bodies heal from the scars of the light. There are others who we see upon our horizon as they climb alongside us, also that we may combine and grow. Tonight there's the memory of the world once fallen, where a hollow god descends once more and brings with it an alloyed ones once taken. Those brothers and sisters who climbed into the night adorned in silver armor, to find new lands that we may soon follow. They speak in olden tongues long forgotten, teaching those who wish to climb over worlds of green and blue. The silver flesh they wrap themselves with, a sign of honor and a beacon for those of us to learn and adorn ourselves with. The hidden pink skin we so closely desire, we may once again adorn. May we follow these great old ones back into the sky once more and meet the brothers and sisters who challenged the great fire. May we once again feast off the land, more than to sate our starvation, and may we honor our ancestors by joining them in the sky. In the year 2050, a desperate attempt to preserve humanity was made. After the destruction of the ozone layer and constant pollutants led to the Earth being uninhabitable, we of course watched the events of the world unfold as humanity slowly lost most of its natural resources, and the waters rose to levels that drowned most populated seaside cities. Then we watched as the remaining humans warred over what remained from the small pieces of land that could possibly be inhabited, to the last farm animals that they were able to maintain. Soon after, we watched the skyscrapers and bridges we built begin to rust away, and with those few humans nearby disappearing with them. Then, when all that was left were a few trees, we sought not to tear down the process of destroying our world, we saw what remained. Now, 3,000 years after the fall of mankind, sat a small group of people building towers to the sky from whatever precious scraps they could find. They protect one another, offering up their precious resources and to their needy and young. Their jaws hardened as they chew through scraps of wood and bark and dig through the earth for whatever bugs they can find. Their hands and feet hardened by the need to climb that they sought themselves for their worship, and the tunnels they have secluded themselves to that provide them with the remaining groundwater of the earth that is at least drinkable. Their bodies deformed from the sudden burst of solar radiation shaping their flesh to hardened scabs, as they barely resemble the men we thought we were. We, the self-proclaimed most valuable people, made excuse after excuse as to why we could never return home to protect those in need, and here they sat, trying to reach us as honored deities and ancestors of their kind. When I was walking the earth, I dared not remove my helmet, so that I may still be able to breathe, and as I pushed away their desperate glances and hopeful stares, I left with them a map of the earth as it should have been, the few hundred of the only people who could truly be considered human, as we lost that right so long ago. I only hope that we can help those that remain, and at least grant them the mercy of never becoming like us again.